Good morning.
Boker Tov, Rabbi Prague.
I would like to review something we learned today in the Daf Yomi with our group. So please open the Maral Sanhedrin. Daf Tzadik Vav Amud Bet. Tzadik Vav Amud Bet.
I'm sorry, which daf? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Tzadik Vav, 96b.
Sanhedrin 96b. Okay, thank you.
Did you ever hear of a book, Larry?
I'm sorry?
Did you ever hear of a book? You read from computers all the time.
I read from books.
You see this? Look at the books that he has.
Unreal.
Yeah, but if I've read any of them, I'd be okay. It's my children, it's not me. Believe me, it's not me.
It's important. People spend money on wallpaper. People spend money and
Buy it, Malays for him.
Malays for him, right? The Gemara over there, we'll learn on the page there are many life lessons that we are afraid to hear through Jewish history, but this is life, this is our challenges in life here. Look on top of the page. Amar Rava, about six lines from the top. The Gemara is talking about the butcher who was the general of Nebuchadnezzar who is coming to destroy Yerushalayim. Amar Rava, Amar Rava, Ta'in tlat mea kudnaita. He loaded and 300 mules. Mules are very strong animals. Narga de Parzela, special metal axes, huge. The Shalit de Parzela. He knew that the walls of Yerushalayim, the gates of Yerushalayim, are protected by iron. So he brings special iron to break, in modern language, the missiles of that time or weapons. And he's coming to Yerushalayim and he's starting to knock down the gates, the walls. Shadar le Nebuchadnezzar and Nebuchadnezzar, the king, sends it to his chief general, Kulhu Bla'atinu Chadadasha de Yerushalayim. 299 metal axes he was trying to use to break the walls. Bal'inu means it didn't make a dent. It didn't make a dent on the walls of Yerushalayim, opening after the Kvav Amud Bet. Okay, the Gemara brings a pasuk. Skip a line. We're looking at Tzadik Vav Amud Bet. Maybe this is approximately 12 lines from the top. Amar Mistapina. Look at the end of the line. Look at the end of the line. Amar Mistapina. Nebuchadnezzar sent special weapons, metal weapons, to knock down the metal walls of Yerushalayim. And the Nebuzaradan, who is the commander-in-chief, is trying 299 of them. Nothing happened. He sends back. Here I look at Tzadik Vav Amud Bet. By the end of the line, Amar Mistapina, approximately 12 lines from the top. Amar Mistapina, the pages before are describing the biblical miracle in Sefer Melachim. Sancheriv comes with a huge army surround Jerusalem, and overnight, all of them died. This goy, the butcher, the murderer, feels that his fate is going to be the same. Mr. Pina, I'm afraid the Lord Avdu bi, he should not do to me, did you learn today's daf, Jeffrey?
Yeah.
Oh, so we are reviewing it. This is today's daf. So he's afraid that his fate is going to be the same as Sancherim. Nafka Kala, a voice comes, Ve'amar Shavar bar Shavar. Jump, the sound of a jump. Nebuzaradan, Nebuzaradan, Shavar, listen carefully, this is the key. The Mata Zimna, the Mikdash Acharim. It's not you who are going to do it. Yerushalayim lost the chance to survive, which means the Jews already prepared the ground for you. It's not you. You are afraid. Basically, I tell you, Shavar bat Shavar means because he was in the army of Sancherim. Says you saw already there, and now it's the opposite. The Mata Zimna de Mikdash Acharim, Ve'ichala Miklu. Right? He gets a hint he is going to succeed.
He hears this patko?
Otherwise, why? It makes no difference if he feels it or he hears it. The rule is like this: every time, just an example, okay? The Gemara says in Berachot, Amar Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, B'chol yom b'yom bat kol yotzet nahar chorev. He says, Oy lahem labriyot me'albona shel Torah. Did you ever hear it? Did I hear it now? So much b'chol yom b'yom stam, there is a ways. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi heard it. He heard it. Says the Baal Shem Tov, every often in real life, you feel, I should be better. This is, now you hear it, yes? Pay attention to what the amok more in your life, yes? Remember, he's very afraid because he knows the history, he knows what happened to Sancherim, and kacha, Baal Shem Tov Omer, it happens. Listen to this, from the 300 special weapons to knock out the walls, Pashlei Chadnar, one X, big X, obviously was left. Now that he is convinced that he is going to win, he doesn't need the sharp edge of the X. Machye bekupa, says Rashi, he knocked it with the back, not the front, because he knows that basically Yerushalayim is waiting for me. Remember, the Gemara says the army never wins, Hamas doesn't win, no one wins. So we are ready to be destroyed. The question is, who is the axe to do it? Yes, this is the Gemara. So,
Nebuzaradan is the general of Nebuchadnezzar.
Anyway, Pashlei Chadnar, Ata Machye bekupa v'iftach. Okay, the Gemara brings a pasuk on there. Listen, skip two lines. Adlik Bey, Have Katil, as we know from the Gemara in Gittin, is going killing from house to house, men, women, and children. Ademata leHeichala, until he gets to Beit HaMikdash. Adlik Bey in Urai, he wants to ignite the Heichal. Gava Heichala, Darchu Mishmaya. So to say, the Heichal wanted to go up. They pushed him down, the Heichal. Shneimar Gat. Listen carefully to the upcoming line. Gat Darach Hashem Libetulat Bat Yehuda. Which means, so to say, Beit HaMikdash felt he's not going to be able to touch us. Hashem says, go down. Why? Listen to this.
What is the word gat?
God is a place where you make wine.
Threshing.
Yeah, let's hear the right side. Listen carefully now. Kazichadate, I am the strongest general. Sancherim with 300,000 did not succeed. I am succeeding. Zachadate, this butcher felt holy. Nafka bat Kala came out a voice Amrale, Amaktila Katar. You killed people who are dead before you came. Because Yeshayahu and Yirmiyahu and Yechezkel, everyone told them, if you are not changing, you are dying. Okay, so you are the stick. It's not you. Heichala Kalya. Kalit. The Beit HaMikdash that you are burning was burned already before you came, because if our Ben Adam, our behavior among ourselves is not good, we are afraid to read. I mean, it's Mufurash in the Chumash, but here the Gemara gives it to you. Kimcha tchina.
You ground it up
You're
flour.
grinding out flour. Am Israel was already
No, we're not. We
skip 2 lines, skip 2 lines.
done already. We didn't do nothing.
And now comes the famous story that we know from the Gemara in Gittin. Chaza Damei de Zechariah. Zechariah is not the prophet, one of the Trei Asar. It's another Navi in Sefer Melachim. I mean, it's really written much longer in Sefer Divrei Hayamim, but it's Yahave Karatach. Amar lehu Mayhai. Hundreds of years before Zechariah was murdered, when he was trying to rebuke the Jewish people, they murdered him on Shabbat Yom Kippur. The blood is bubbling.
Still.
Amar lehu Mayhai. Amru le Dam zevachim u'deishtaper. The blood from the korbanot. Amar lehu Aiti be'enase imedamu. Let me slaughter few sheep. Let's see if the blood, if the color of the blood is the same. You realize right away that the human blood of the Navi and the human blood of the Korban are not the same. It means Kashi means he slaughtered. We are looking in Sanhedrin Tzadik Vav Amud Bet. Tzadik Vav Amud Bet.
These women, they're not comparable.
Veloim. The damot is to compare.
They're not tamid. They're not
The
comparable.
color of the blood of a human being is different than the color of the blood of Amar lehu galuli, ve'i lo sarikna lechul, b'saraychu b'masrika deparza. If you're not revealing to me what is this bubbling blood, I would torture you. Amru le, hai kohen ve'navi u'dein belehu. But the prophet, he happens to be a kohen also, and he prophesied, really, I mean, the story is not written, but if you look at the Divrei Hayamim and Melachim, this is text. Basically, it goes like this. I mean, we can spend a class on it, that the female queen killed all the descendants of the previous, she wanted to be the queen. The Kohen Gadol took one young kid, and he hid him on top of the Kodesh HaKodashim until he became mature. When he became mature, he crowned him as a king, and they killed the queen. Fine. As long as the Kohen Gadol was alive, he was listening. The king was listening to him.
What was this king's name?
Either no. Yoash, אני חושב.
Oh, Yoash. Ben Shavash Shanim.
Sheva Shanim, exactly. Anyway, after Yehoyada Kohen Gadol died, everyone came to the king and told him, you spent a few years on top of Kodesh HaKodashim, you must have godly powers. This fool, unfortunately, took it. It says in the text. And he starts to look at himself as a god. A god means he has godly powers. The son of the Kohen Gadol, who saved you, this is Zechariah. The son of the Kohen Gadol, which saved you, comes and tells you, and he says in public, how can you do Avodah Zarah in Beit HaMikdash? was stoned on Kippur b'Shabbat. This is the background of the story. This is the blood of this man here. It bubbles. Yes? So they tell him, Hai Kohen ben Avihu de'in belehu liYisrael b'churbanat Yerushalayim v'katluhu. Every revolution in the world, yes, first you burn the books. Communism jailed rabbinic leaders, Russian leaders, Jewish books are being burned. This is, you're afraid to listen, to hear, so you kill. Amar lehu, ana mefayasna leh. I mean, can you imagine who is one man that is protesting, who is so frightening? It's one man that protests about the Chet HaHegel. So let's say you don't listen to him. Push him aside, lock him up, and stone him. Why do you have to stone him? Guys, this is with me and you. This is life. This is humanity. When you hear the truth in front of you, you cannot take it. You cannot take it. Jail him out. Put him out. Don't pay attention. You look at him, it's too strong to, let's eliminate him. Tomorrow is not alive. And this is here. Amar lehu, remember, he is a butcher. He understood that to take regular people, it takes scholars. The blood didn't.
He killed a lot of rabbis on that spot.
Haiti Dardaki, Gemara says in Shabbat that the world stands at the learning of young kids who are pure. He understands that what he sees is not normal. To take regular people from shul, there's no chance to cover it. He takes the elite, children who are learning, or real scholars.
Dardaki little kids.
Dardaki the Beirab, which means they're still learning in school. Remember, he's selecting special groups of people. Now listen to this number first. I'll read it, then I'll tell you what the Maharal says in numerous places. Adi katali lavei 94 ribo. 94 ribo means 940,000 people.
94 times 10.
94.
94 times 10,000.
Times 10,000.
Anyway, says the Maharal every time. If you look at the Gemara in Gittin, how many people who killed tens of millions, there weren't so many people in Israel. Says the Maharal by Chazal, it's quality, not quantity. Like the Gemara says, it says in Sefer Yeshua, 36 people were killed in the eye. Says the Gemara, no, it's one member of the Sanhedrin, it's equal to, which means the value-wise, the amount of people that he eliminated is close to 1 million people. Fine. The Maharal says it many times. It's a very important Maharal. Anyway, Karav Legabe, this is very interesting. Before that,
who's left? He took the Talmidei Chachamim, he took the little kids, he took Berchei Kivra, he took the best of the best. So who's?
That's the value. That's what the value.
No, he continued.
No, he stops. Now he realizes that nothing happened. Karav Legabe, you realize before that he was afraid. He stayed near the blood, because he realized that something not normal is going on. Karav Legabe comes near the blood. Amar, Zecharia, Tovim shebahem ibadeti. I killed the best of the best. I killed real Talmidei Chachamim, I killed young children, I killed Kohanim. Yichalach, you want me to take revenge for your blood? The Iktelinu lekulu, should kill the rest. Miyad, nach. The blood stopped, right? I heard, of course, the story is interesting, but the next line is fascinating. Ilhel tshuva b'da'atei. There was Aladani thinking to himself, I'm a butcher. I have tens of thousands of people, innocent people I killed. Amar, mahem, the Jewish people, shelo yibdu ala nefesh achat, kach. They killed one man. This is the punishment that they got. Ahu Gavra, Now he's speaking about himself. ההוא גברא, מה תהיה ועלי. Imagine what my fate is going to be. Harak, he deserted the army. Shadar Putita lebeitei. He sent, she says Putita, she says it's like a tzava. Tzava means, I'm sure you know, how to divide this portion. Veitgayer, and he converted. As you see regularly in Tanakh, Haman and Achashverosh, they knew Jewish history very well, and they had a big, the man stands in front of the mystery, and somehow stops. Look at the next few lines. Now the Gemara is reviewing few biblical personalities, goyim, bad people. Naaman, ger toshav haya. Naaman is the general from Aram, who is covered with leprosy. He comes to Elisha, and he expected Elisha to be a Baba, to give him voodoo stuff, and Elisha didn't look at him, and he sends a message to him, go deep 7 times. It says in Tanakh, he makes fun of him. הלא טובים, הלא טובים, המנה הוא פרפר נערוד המשק, and his soldiers who came with him told him, he traveled so much because you heard that this man is a miracle man. Why don't you realize the ego of the man was such? I am going to just try it. And it says, it's after he told it to him, he went into the water, not he was cured as a man of 40. His skin was like a skin of, and right away it says in the text, it says to Elisha, finished. But you realize, guys, this common denominator is that people at the heart and the brain, something shook them up, and they say, I have to do something. And he says to Elisha, I'm taking upon myself to Sheva Mitzvot B'nai Noach. Then he has a halachic question.
Yeah, whether we can go back. Yes.
We saw the Gemara the other day. So Ger Toshav, look at the Rashi on the right side at the bottom. Ger Toshav, Shelo Kibel Alav Sh'ar Mitzvot. Didn't accept. He was not a full convert. וקיבל עליו שלא לעבוד עבודת כוכבים. This is one of the Sheva Mitzvot B'nai Noach. This is why he had a question to Elisha. So this is number 1. Listen carefully. Nebuzaradan ger tzedek haya. This butcher that was shaken by the fact that the blood of Zechariah bubbled for many years and now he stopped, became a ger tzedek, a real convert. Pay attention to the titles that the Gemara gives. מבלי בניו של סיסרא למדו תורה בירושלים. Sisera is the general that Yael invites. She kills him. מבלי בניו של סיסרא למדו תורה בירושלים. In a minute we are going to ask, I understand that Nebuzaradan becomes the ger tzedek. Okay, touch them. מה זה למדו תורה בירושלים? Next, מבני בניו של סנחריב לא למדו תורה, לימדו תורה. They became teachers of Torah. Sancheriv, the men came to destroy Yerushalayim. Before we come back, this is another one. Umaninu, Shmaya v'Avtalion. If you remember the Gemara in Yoma, the Gemara in Yoma says that on Yom Kippur, when the Kohen Gadol finished his avodah, Shmaya v'Avtalion were there. So most of the people came to watch the avodah, followed Shmaya and Avtalion. The Kohen Gadol, few people followed him also. And he felt insulted. So he says to them, oh, he made a remark. This is the Gemara, yes? He makes a remark, look, you're children of converts. Other people, where the Kavlos, I'm a Kohen Gadol.
I'm not getting respect.
The Gemara is telling you you are a double zero by being the Kohen Gadol, you're a political appointee. We are becoming Shmaya and Avtalon because we do, not because the government elected us, and not because. In a minute we'll see why was he Zocher Sancheriv. And the amazing part is Miblei Banav Shel Haman למדו תורה בבני ברק.
למדו או לימדו?
זו שאלה. So let's start from Haman. We know Haman, it's a week away from Purim. The Gemara says in Masechet Megillah, only the Gemara can say it. אתה שומע גדולה הסרת טבעת. Affected Achashverosh removes his name and gives it to Haman יותר מ-48 נביאים ונביאות שנתנבאו לישראל. Yeshayahu didn't push the Jewish people to change, neither Eliyahu nor Yechezkel nor Asa. What did it? Which means lectures are not doing anything. When you see the gun over your head, you do teshuvah. It comes out that even though Haman is Hitler, wanted to be Hitler at least. But the reality is that because of him, the Jewish people, of course, Haman cannot be rewarded, neither his children. But Bnei Banav, to show you that how far a reward of the godly way of running the world. You did something good. You didn't intend to do it, didn't mean to do it, you want to do the opposite. This is really all the Gemara before, yes? The Gemara says, Miblei Banav Shel Sancheriv, Limdu Torah Barabim. You have to realize this. Let's use unfortunately, the current situation, yes? If you listen carefully to Channel 14 or to those who are not controlled by the left media, hundreds and hundreds of Israelis somehow starting to keep something, either to keep partly Shabbat or to keep Barachot or Tzitzit Mama. But Omera, the butchers in Gaza, did something, yes? Imagine if you are surrounded, it's not their fault. Sancheriv is around Yerushalayim, and if you read the Tanakh, Rav Shakeh, his right-hand man, which was always a Jew, says to the king, we can just walk in and step over Yerushalayim. And overnight, it is a text. And overnight, which means again, because of the Sancheriv, yes, everyone witnessed a miracle that left an impact on people. I mean, Gemara is talking to me and you, yes?
So Sancheriv was responsible for this Kiddush Hashem,
Right.
therefore his
It's a fact. Of course he deserves nothing, but
I think we should change the words. They're responsible. His actions triggered this thing.
I came to America in the 70s. In the language of Ashkenazi, you see, I was a breeder. Anyway, on Shabbat, I forgot about the first or second year. We went to 16th Avenue, and there's a yeshiva called Bet She'arim. He was a very good friend of Eli Wiesel. They were together in Bergen. He gave him money to build the yeshiva.
who gave? Well, Eli
Eli
gave.
Wiesel gave him money, yeah. So the rabbi over there speaks and says that yes, when I was, the day of liberation, I would think that Moshiach is not around the corner. I would stay there. I would never come out. What's the point of coming? I lost a wife, 6 children. I lost all my family. Why would I come? I was sure. A week later, a guy made, this is 70, made an appeal for oil, oil. Orphanage.
Yeah.
The man says like this, I am an independent businessman, I'm doing very well. So why am I making an appeal? Says, I lost my father, my brother, all my family, I'm the only survivor. And Every time I'm asking myself, why me? Why not my brother? Why not my father? I'll never get an answer, but I do know that God wants me to do something good. So I dedicated my life for all of it. This is what the Gemara is saying, you understand? A man is asking himself a question, and he doesn't know the answer, there's no answer. But there's something, are you changing something here? Look, each one of them. It happens in Israel by the thousands. By the thousands, yes. As things continue, if you really look at an outsider, you ask, what's going on? The head of the Shin Bet is fired, and the left, who should be fired if not the security? But what do you mean? He's a capable guy. The answer is, this is life, this is politics. But some people, regular people, not people who are running and have power and make a lot of money of being part of the state, asking themselves, Makara, Makara. We have such a wonderful country, but they are met. The answer is, we don't know what. But we do know that the change should take place. But the Gemara is, this is what the Gemara is telling us. Sancherib, Sisra, Haman. Yes. Listen to this. The Gemara continues, ואף מבני בניו של אותו רשע, ביקש הקדוש ברוך הוא להכניסם תחת כנפי השכינה.
He's a Torah.
אותו רשע, Rashi said, is Nebuchadnezzar. Hashem wanted the grandchildren of Nebuchadnezzar also, which means every butcher, a terrible person, he did terrible. But the reality is that some good comes out of it, and Hashem wanted.
Some reward.
אמרו מלאכי השרת לפני הקדוש ברוך הוא ריבונו של עולם, מי שהחריב את ביתך ושרף את היכלך, תכניס תחת כנפי השכינה. It's too much. Haman wanted to do. Remember, Haman wanted, he didn't achieve. Sancherib wanted. This guy, so this is why the Gemara didn't say before that Nebuzaradan, the chief butcher of Nebuchadnezzar, had children all out. He became a convert, very nice. He killed many. He destroyed those who had children.
Intention is one thing, action is another.
Sancherib, the terrible people who wanted to kill. Look, skip few lines, this is unbelievable. Amar Ula, skip it. The next line again, Amon Moab. Listen carefully. How the old, I remember, this type of stories cannot be written unless Chachamim Kiblu as they accepted it for previous generations. This is not. Amar Ula, Amon Moab, Shiva ve'Bishet Yerushalayim Abu. Shiva ve'er neighbors, Bishet, bad, terrible people. Kevan deshaminu leNeviah.
What is Shiva ve'Bishet?
Shiva ve'er neighbors, Bishet, Raim.
Why they're so bad?
If you just listen to the Gemara, we just read the half a line. Kevan deshaminu leNeviah. They did listen to Yeshayahu. They did listen to Yirmiyahu. They did listen to Yechezkel. And they see the changes are not taking place in the so-called Eretz HaKodesh. The Kamitnabe leChurbanah Yerushalayim. Remember, the destruction was predicted in Navi. It's predicted in Chumash, but in particular, listen to this. Shalchu leNebuchadnezzar, puk v'tav. Come. The prophets are saying, here it is, the Goyim, this is why they're bad neighbors, you understand? Come destroy Yerushalayim. We know the Navi says it's going to be destroyed. Amar, Mistapina, I'm afraid, the Lord le'avdu bi, ki de'avdu bekamai. Look at Sancherib. He was a stronger army than me. He was there already, finished. Paro, yes. שלחו לי, אין האיש בביתו, הלך בדרך מרחוק. God is not protecting the Jewish people. אין האיש בביתו. God left the Jewish people. This is what the Nevi'im are saying. Okay, they bring a pasuk. ואין איש אלא הקדוש ברוך הוא שנאמר לו, השם איש מלחמה. which means they're telling him, based on what the prophets are saying, based on the behavior of the people, Avodah Zarah, Gilui Arayot, Shfichut Damim,
Now's the time.
שלח להוא בקריבה ובעתי. Okay, maybe temporarily he is out of supervising, protecting the Jews, but he's standing nearby. שלחו לי, הלך בדרך מרחוק. Now, which means based on the behavior. Look at the Rashi on the top left. Look at the left. Here is Rashi. כי אין האיש. Rashi here the second line of the Gemara. כי אין האיש מקרא ובמשלי, בקריבה ובקרוב הוא, ויבוא בעת דוחקם. If God is not there now, he would come. לפי דרכו של מקרא זה. Okay. So he says, he's coming. They say, no. Remember, which means it's מבהיל לחשוב that the goyim around understand. I think you told me, my Chavrutas friend is volunteers to be a doula in Columbia Presbyterian. Twice a week she goes. She told me a few times, it is in black nurses. Says Rachel, come and see. Relatively speaking, there are more Jewish kids in Kenya than others. Now, what does God want for you? She told me twice. It's clear, of course. Look at this. The statistics, what's the statistic of the... When the Goyim understand that if things are happening, we have to Tishma. Shalach lehu, he sends back. This is the mighty Nebuchadnezzar, yes? He conquered many countries, but the little Jewish. Then, Shalach lehu it lehu tzadiki, the Ba'u Rachme, u'maitoleh. But the righteous people among the Jewish people are going to pray, as we saw in Mordechai and Esther. Shalchule, listen to this. We are Moab are convincing Nebuchadnezzar to come and not to be afraid. And the outcome Shalchule, Tzror HaKesef לקח בידו, ואין כסף ארץ צדיקים. Forget the pasuk, but look at the Rashi. Look at the Rashi on top. צרור הכסף לקח בידו, you see here? צדיקים שבהם מתו, the righteous people that could have protected are dead. Now Rashi explains the pasuk, the Gemara brings, ואחרי לי ב15 כסף, פדיתי אותה, I took my people on the 15th of Nisan out of Mitzrayim. כסף וחומר שעורים ולתר, חומר is 30 bushels, לתר is 15. בזכות צדיקים שנקראו כסף, חומר שעורים is 30, it's a metaphor. Anyway, there are still 45 tzadikim in Israel that they are going to pray in the right time for Hashem. So even though you are telling me that Hashem is not there, and in general we're not good, this is Nebuchadnezzar arguing with Ammon and Moab who are trying to convince him. Look further, I'm skipping a line.
So you're saying there's still 45? Nebuchadnezzar, there's still 45 speaking.
It means Nebuchadnezzar, you're there.
There's still 45.
There's still secret weapons.
Still
here.
some.
שלח להוא חדרי רשיע בתשובה. Those 45 might convince people who are not so good to do tshuva, ובאו רחמים. ומה יתראה? God will come back. שלחו לי, כבר קבע להם זמן, which means they knew the prophecy of Yirmiyahu, that after 70 years, the second Beit HaMikdash is going to be built. Learn Gemara Megillah, why did Achashverosh made the party בשנת 3 לברכות? Everyone knew about this prophecy of Yirmiyahu. אחרי 70 שנה, so every king, Belshazzar, for calculated that the 70 are over.
Yeah.
And if the second temple is not built, obviously I can make a party. He made a party, and you know the story. And Hashvarosh also thought. So now they're telling him the best. Before 70 years, nothing will happen. So come. You are right, which means everything you said is correct. It's not going to take effect till 70 years. Come, you have 70 years, you'll probably not be alive. Okay, so skip up 2 lines. He's still afraid. Skip 2 lines, go to the end of the line. Shalach lehu sitva avu. Sitva avu means the weather. This is not a good time to. Velo matzina da'ati mitilga or mitra. Rashi says tilga. Mitra means it's snowing, it's raining.
Shelik and Matar.
You have the translation right
Oh
there.
no, I know it. That one I knew. That was a lucky guess. A tough and a shin. A tough and a shin. A tough and a shin always change.
No, but tilga, you what it says, tilga, tough.
Tilga is snow.
And shin, no, with tough and shin change.
In
Tilga,
Aramaic, the tough and the shin change.
Shelg in Arabic is snow.
Hey,
Shakule, now remember, first they were trying to convince him logically, religiously. Now you have time, but he's still afraid. Listen. Shalchu leita shilga de Torah. We will give you a way to come into Israel to bypass the bad weather. Okay, the Gemara brings a pasuk. Skip a line.
What does that mean? It's a bypass. How could they give him something? It's a bypass. Wow.
When, I mean, an example, yes. When Hitler decided to attack Russia, this was the beginning of the defeat. When Napoleon decided to get,
The weather was a factor.
instead of going to Russia straight the way you went, straight to the cold winter, come to Russia from around, go to the Balkans, go to this, we'll tell you a way.
Give a way to bypass it, I guess.
I mean, they're giving him, look, the Bible is Tishma. Shalach lehu, Iatina. You realize how hesitant he is. From what is he afraid? Because they knew Jewish history, and somehow by the end of the day, Bezrat Hashem is going to happen in Israel the same. By the end of the day, we're coming out of it. Yes. Shalach lehu Iatina leki duchta diativ lebe. Says, I'm bringing with me tens of thousands of soldiers. Where am I going to stay? They listen to Pele, Shalchulei, all around Yerushalayim, all the previous kings built themselves beautiful caves, beautiful cemeteries. Yerbayas cemetery, a lot, is $40,000, 4 by 4, but they built. Says remove all the bones of all the kings and all these. You'll have beautiful places to stay, covered from the rain, which means it's a humiliation for the kings, those who supported Avodah Zarah. They don't go with their telling them. Shalchulei,
Who is Shalchulei?
Ammon and Moab, the nations around Israel,
Oh, okay.
who follow the prophets, and they realize the Jewish people deserve. And they are inviting him to.
Ammon and Moab were the same ones from Bnei Israel were being exiled. They gave them salty foods, and then
Right.
so they're always the ones that.
This is why because we expect you, Avraham Avinu, saved you and to save Lord. Avraham Avinu. Look, when Rommel, yes, Rommel was about to take Palestine at the time, אף אחד לא האמין there were 600,000 Jews in Israel at that time. And in the Israeli small airport, there was already a few planes ready to evacuate who? The leaders to go to London.
The leaders of Israel?
Of course, always they have their.
And very innocent.
No, I mean, whoever was there at the time, no one believed that Montgomery is going to. I mean, it was the Desert Fox. I mean, this is Otto Rock, and there was no chance. I mean, if you really read Avad Yosef says that he was young at that time. Relative. Said they had prayers. The floor by the kotel was wet as if it's raining.
Yeah.
People were praying. Geula Yerushalayim, they come down from Strauss. So they took all the children from all the schools. They took out all the Sifrei Torah. Says when you בחיים שלו, הוא אומר, לא הבנתי מה זה תפילה. It was sure the Nazis are coming. Montgomery gave him a defeat. In our history, it happens. It happens. Things are bad, but we're not talking about the left. We're talking to us. It's we here. It's not. Is it talking about people smoking Shabbat? It's talking about us. I have a sefer lectures of Rabbi Yochanan, the biggest Mishra. So he spoke to his students in 1933. This is Poland, 6 years before the war began. Hitler openly said what he wants to do. He says in Yeshivat Mir, remember Yeshivat Mir, every boy there was, and he says to them, Miret Tzuruz is speaking to us. He's not talking about the rest of the Jews in Poland, Germany. What they do. We are the ones who are responsible. Those who are far, what do you want from them? You can go tell he says, among our community, yes. Anyway, Kishma, here is Amon Moava telling him, there are plenty of graves that if you remove all the bones, you'll have plenty of protected places in the caves in the mountains to look. קברות שלהם מעולים, יוליס, מפלטרין שלך, we are afraid to read it. They're telling him they're decorated, nicer than your palace. You look at Tumishuma except here, which means when they build this cave, they spend so much money in mother language, marble.
Mausoleums like today or something.
No, but it says מעולים מפלטרין שלך, which means, don't worry, you feel. Now the Gemara is connecting it to a prophecy I'm looking in is Yirmiyahu, Yirmiyahu Chet. Ba'et ha'ina hu ma'shem, Yirmiyahu prophesies when the destruction is coming, Yotziu et atzmot malchei Yehuda. This is a prophecy done by Yirmiyahu before. But atzmot tzarav, but atzmot HaKohanim who are serving the idols, but atzmot HaNevi'im, the false prophets, but atzmot Yoshvei Yerushalayim, mikivreihem, ushtachum, the bones will be spread, לשמש ולירח, ולכל צבא השמיים אשר האבום. You worship the galaxies here. Your bones will be exposed to them. This was today's daf. We learned it in the morning, Jeff learned it too. But the Gemara has here messages through the generations, yes? And nothing happens unless it was supposed to happen because of us. Who is the stick? Who is the enemy? Who is there? In history, you have look. I told you, I mean, I don't want too many people that spoke like this. Rabbi Lau in his book, the book Rabbi Lau published himself. Remember, he was a kid, he was saved from the Holocaust, he writes it in his book. His uncle was a Rav in Haifa. So he came to his uncle, then he became 13, 14, he sent him to Yerushalayim, he studied in Yeshivat Kol Torah, from Zaman Orbach was his. So he says he knew that his father and his grandfather were close to Hasidei Gur. So one Shabbat, when he was called to Torah today, he Beit Vegan in Israel, but at that time he was in Rehov Shishki, like 20 minutes away. So he decided that he's going to see the Rebbe of Gur, who basically lost 150,000 Hasidim. But his son then became the Admor. This is in the early 50s. Apparently, people told that Admor Migur, that this young man Israel Meir Lau is the son of, his father was a very famous, right? Well, if you know, go, the Rebbe is walking and he describes how he met. Then he says to someone, tell him that after Tish, I want to see him private. Says in the book, I come to his whatever room, I serve the tea, then in Yiddish, the Rabbi אומר לי, Yisrael Meir, Ostem Gezen, did you see him? I'm looking at the Rabbi, who? He's asking me a second. Yisrael Meir, did you see him? He says, Vemen, who? Did you see God, Bergen-Belsen? He writes in his book, you have to read it, I read it a million times. He says, first of all, he looks at me and my eyes, I never forgot it. He says, did you see that God was there? Did you see it? I never forgot the question. What did he mean to say? He meant to say, your father is gone, your mother is gone. The family is gone, and you, two brothers, you know, he had a brother who was very politics, another one was in a kibbutz. 3 of you are alive, all the family are gone. You realize, he says, yeah, he's trying to tell me you have a mission.
Yeah.
You have a mission. Okay, if you read this book, this is basically what he's saying. Yes. Wherever he went.
They told him that?
Says when he graduated yeshiva, he was 16, 17. Boy, 17. Says the Psalm Auerbach says to him, so Meir, אני בטוח שאתה תהיה משהו מיוחד, because you see you're very talented. Use it the right way. So איפה שהלכתי, הוא אומר, כולם הבינו. I mean, he became what he became. Forget now, the chief rabbi in the school. But the man.
He was given a certain gift to carry forward.
He writes in his book here that in 1967 he was a 67. He was a rabbi of a very upper class university in Tel Aviv. So he volunteered to be in Ichilov in the hospital. He says after the war, he gets a letter from soldiers in the kibbutz. He says, our kibbutz is totally not religious, but we would like you to come to speak to us.
Young boy.
This is soldiers who fought in 67.
No, so he's
No.
Yeah,
And he says, whenever you give me a date and time, I'll be there. Says weeks pass by and call the occasion. After a few months, he gets, they apologize, that basically that he can't.
Why did they take so long?
They tell him, we fought in the war, but the elders, the kibbutznikim, says no rabbi.
Oh.
And we told them, what are you afraid?
They abandoned.
One night, the rabbi would never step in. But we fought and they didn't fight, so we pushed our vote and now you're here. Says he came basically to be there for an hour and a half, 2 hours. He was there till 2:00 at night. Says to show you how the elders, the real socialists, so-called, as I'm speaking, people said that they were cutting the nails.
To show.
Said, to show we don't care about you. Okay, basically his message was, I remember he was a master speaker. I remember the famous picture, when the soldiers came to the Kotel, the famous, so he says to them, this is kids will never touch the religion. Mom, why did you start to cry? I mean, his point was, every Jew, you know, all this talk that every Jew deep inside, says, as he's saying, the ladies, לא נכון, זה לא נכון. לא נכון. The reason they are crying is because they fought for many days, and finally they came to the ככה היא צועקת. You have to know it. He says, I answered Dirberg, you know, the forces that went to the south, at that time, the commander-in-chief was Yeshayahu Gavish. He was the commander of the northern. He says, when these soldiers got to the Suez Canal, how come they didn't start to cry? According to your logic, they make you feel, I got to my destination, they simply went to sleep and rest. How come I the kotel? I mean, I have a book today, it's a book, but the name of the book is Siach Lochamim, Siach, the discussion of fighters. Basically, the entire book is how real fighters came together to ask questions and answers. It's amazing to see what people feel. People feel it today also.
In which war?
67, this was 67. 67. See, very famous. Yeah. Talk about real kibbutznikim. Today there are no more kibbutznikim because they are going to high-tech. What is there are the ones. But the Gemara is telling us that every major tragedy or potential tragedy has to make us think. It's difficult because everyone is.
The question is, we always
Yes.
say, like, with Paro and Pesach, we always say, like, why are they punished if they were supposed to happen anyway? So you say, well, it didn't have to be him, it could have been someone else.
The Ramban and the Rambam.
But again, here with Chanetza, there has to be somebody. I mean, so like, if you give that answer, like, then no one would ever do it. Meaning, like you.
Look, I'll give you. This is a serious story, but it's just one story. The chief rabbi of Antwerp, his name was Chaim Kreisler. הוא באמת היה גאון, but he was גאון what means when he used to give a speech and he quoted the Gemara, you saw in the meeting the Gemara, yeah? With his finger, he used to.
Merkaz HaTorah? He was Merkaz?
I can אחר כך, right, yeah, because of.
What do you mean?
Yeah, but this is. תשמע. He learned in Yeshivat Chachmei Lublin in order to be accepted in Yeshivat Chachmei Lublin. To accept it, as a boy of 14 or 15, you have to be tested at 200 to 300 pages of Gemara. No, this was the yeshiva. The Nazis knew about it. Yet this yeshiva, Chachmei Lublin, it says, and when the Nazis came in, first target in Lublin was this yeshiva. So it says they took all the boys and basically one by one shot and dropped them out. And it says, I knew that I'm next, whatever. She says, כך כותב, he סיפר את זה 1000 פעמים in public. It says, when I became, it says it was very difficult in the beginning to find a place to sleep in the yeshiva. Finally, I got a place. Then a poor boy came that was partially blind, and I realized that there's no way he can find a place. And I gave him my room for many, many weeks, and I went to sleep in a dump. It says, before they shot me, כך הוא מספר. התפללתי להשם, I don't think I have any זכויות, but this זכות I definitely have. Because I suffered, because I went to help someone. Hashem, please help me. Remember, a boy by boy, basically you come, they shoot you. It says, when I came, the Nazi looks at me and he says, you know what, I have a son exactly similar to you. I feel bad for your parents. It is, I'm going to shoot, fall on the floor, jump out of the windows. If you're dead, then whatever happens, happens. This is exactly why he survived. He survived the war. In the beginning, he came to Israel in the 50s, then he came.
He's the single son boy?
No, I know that. I mean, I knew another one, Fraxel, but very few survived. שמע שהוא אומר, the man who shots. לא אמר שום דבר, didn't say Shabbat, this זכות, to help this poor young man. Obviously was a real sacrifice, but there's no doubt in his mind developed period. Later in his years, he got serious cancer. And the doctors were, this is again what he is saying. He came to the Stapler. So the Stapler says to him, remember, you have to be a chassid to ask him, but Stapler told him, Eilu devarim, we say, אלו דברים שאין להם שיעור, הפאה והביקורים, אחר כך אומרים, תשמע, אומרים ככה. אומרים, ביקור חולים, שמע טוב, בהכנסת כלה ולוויית המת. לוויית המת שותפה לו ביקור חולים, why did הכנסת כלה? In the middle. תזכור, this is, you can say it's a סעודה שלישית, but the Stapler told it to him, knowing who he was. So he, Rabbi Yehuda Anasi is hinting to us that Achnasat, אני חושב גם את זה זה משנה, זה
Oh,
ברייתא.
yeah, a little
You say it every morning, no?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you say it in the morning.
Says the stapler to him, if you get involved in serious הכנסת קלה, it stops the ביקור חולים to become the בעיית המת. מה אתה חושב אמר לו?
You don't
You
go
get
through that
seriously
stage.
involved in הכנסת קלה, which means you're helping poor brides to get married, זה מפסיק בין ביקור חולים או לבעיית המת. ככה אמר לו. You have to know the Chaim Kaiserberg to understand.
You don't get
He says in the stapler, the girls I'm going to try it. He raised hundreds of thousands. But the Chokhmah, what he did was, I mean, people all over the world gave him a lot of money. Yeah, but you, it's not so?
I don't see the הכנסות קלה.
In the Mishnah, look at the Braita, look at the Braita of Kiddushin.
Oh.
Kiddushin, the end of
Yeah, no,
Kiddushin.
yeah.
Yeah,
First pair.
yeah.
Anyway,
אתה שומע?
on that Dirush.
היה מביא, לא היה. The way he did it was, he went to every community and found out those who really never ask and never take, and those who really need it. היה לו עוד 10-15 שנים אחרי זה. הוא היה אומר את זה על עצמו, לא משנה, הוא אומר, לא יודע אם זה או לא זה.
That's שמחת חתונה או הכנסת קלה?
הכנסת, to pay, used to, אני הייתי בישיבת שם בתורת מימן, I see the Chaim Kaiserberg comes, everyone stands up, and then, it was the guy with Charlotte and the boys, his name was, I remember in a minute. I see he's talking, learning, then he says to him, can I have a private talk with you? Then we go to a woman. The guy says to me, what do you think he did? He has a daughter getting married, he has nothing. He probably gave him $20,000. ככה היה עושה, זה 1, 2, 3. But the חוכמה of the Gemara is, we are in the midst of it. I'm asking myself, what would my grandson say, Sunday, באמת? I mean, my family was in Israel during the Holocaust. My grandparents were in Israel already. What happened to you? What happened to you? The Gemara is telling us something. I speak less Lashon Hara. I'm doing more chesed. Whatever, everyone in his own way. I'm praying better. But this is what I felt this morning as I read it, because it's an ongoing. And look how Israel is moving back to take back what we gave them. No. We're not talking about Israel. Let the politicians do whatever they want. They're dirty, they'll be dirty. It's only power. But we are part of this organism called Am Yisrael.
On weddings, a community started organization. Everybody has a wedding. They can go to this organization and they put up a grass middle near the ceremony and say, these family donated money for another wedding. Hoffman started that.
Yeah.
Nice. And you give whatever you want, 1,837, if people want to give a lot more money, nice.
When Rav Yaakov Kamenetsky died, he lived in Spring Valley. So the graduating class of the high school there decided that instead of having an album and the names, they'll have a simple, and all the money they raise, they'll publish the first book of Rabbi Kamenetsky. Chumash. Obviously, when the first book came, everyone, including me, so here, this is more than 30 years ago. Open the book, you have names of 22 kids. Ma'asu, instead of, but this is exactly what it means. It takes a lot of guts to
I wonder where those 22 are.
Rabbi Henkel, you know Rabbi Henkel? Rabbi Henkel writes in his book, you have to see. He writes in his book, I understand, you can see he was laughing with Roy. I understand that people have to be buried in Israel. So to bury in Israel, you have to live a life. You deserve to be buried in Israel. The thousands of dollars, he's talking about the 60s now, people spend, if they give it to one poor family, I guarantee them, they're much better than big. The money that the flight, the family has to go. You have to buy the plot, you have to buy the... Okay, how many people... Rabbi Kamenetsky is buried here in Montefiore Hospital. Why? Not because of this reason. He says children have to be near the parents. You are buried in Israel, so the first year the kids fly to Israel, the second, 10 years later,
Right,
as children
Yeah.
need a grave that they can visit. Because if you visit a grave, you're looking into yourself.
That's right.
He's buried there, he's buried near
The ferries in Queens, is it?
here in Queens. Have a wonderful day.
Had some early ones.
Everything we
Queens
said to
before.
them, speaking to myself, but I spoke loud. I saw that he would be here.
By Prague.
Yes,
You know how many calls my cousin's gotten for the clothes for you since Purim?
yeah,
One period of time, 57,000 calls.
whoa.
Oh,
Yeah, his family has a big store in Flatbush. If you are poor, they give you.
Everything for free.
what's that, what's the name? This was, Fisher was behind, not, what's
That's
that?
Fisher.
Was Abhishek?
Abhishek, this is
Abhishek.
Abhishek.
What's the name? It's something closet? I forgot the name. Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Have a little.
Clothing, it's a regular store, but it's.
No, they mean, but the chokhmah is they don't.
The kids don't know. The kids don't know.
No,
Copy.
Yeah,
yeah.
we have a store.
No, but then-
Sometimes something.
Yeah.
Have a great day, Rabbi Prague.
Have a nice day, yeah, because I tell you, three put by when Robert is learning. This is mine, and two put in the regular book is by. Okay, put it there. I'll make sure. Okay, this I bought for one.
So today is one voting site, Tuesday is another.
Oh, great.
So it's good, I'm sorry, because they gave me the wrong address.
For FDRI's yes, of course.
Just
yeah,
today.
yeah. Okay.
And then Tuesdays,
Okay, great. Here's 180. This is where I vote home.
yeah, that's the regular voting place, but early voting
Early,
is
it's a
different.
different place.
Yeah.
I see it. I have to see time. I have to see time.
Voting takes, at least for us, I voted on Friday, it took 5 minutes. I went to Quinton Road and, East 10th Street.
Well, thank you very
and
much.
That was the early voting site.
Maybe I'll tell my
The
wife.
regular voting site is by the church. No, but today is, should be Quinton Road also.
Yes.
I should get privacy.
Yes.
It's the way, and we want to do something for